Okay then guys, what is going on? Cloud Plays here and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Today we have got a load of news because the last 24 hours has been mental, and if you guys haven't seen already, we uploaded 2 videos revolving around so much information, including the character screen, the main inventory screen, we had the map size for the Hogwarts castle, a load of new clothing and requirements, and the gameplay size of how long it's going to take you to complete those. If you haven't seen those, I'll leave the links down in the description. Feel free to go check them out after this, but the last 24 hours has been insane, and we've got loads more information to go through with you guys right now. So without that being said, if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. It would be greatly appreciated. And also, once we hit 50,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing a giveaway for an Xbox Series S and a game of your choice. If you want to get involved with that, head down to the description, go and follow me on Instagram or Twitter, and make sure you're a subscriber here on the channel. Leave a comment in the comment section of your username and the platform you followed me on. It's really that simple. Let's dive into it. So starting off, we have got some stuff with the individual main quests inside of the houses. There is going to be a differentiation between different houses. They have different progressions in individual main quests, but they all have the same end results. What this does mean is that some of the houses are briefly going to be visiting the prison of Azkaban, and this is quite a big one because I know a lot of people are really looking forward to getting into Azkaban, and if it was something we were able to do or not. Well, it is. Which houses they are, I don't actually know. That information was not provided. Whilst we're talking about the darker areas of the game, Avada Kedavra curse is from a side mission after completing the main storyline, which means this is very, very late in the game. So for those of you guys who are really excited about getting the Avada Kedavra spell, you are going to need to complete the main story to actually obtain this curse. I don't really understand the necessary need for that without New Game Plus, because we've already heard that there's no New Game Plus inside of the game, so I don't really get why we're going to obtain probably the cooler curse towards the end of the game's life cycle. But I think that's kind of neither here nor there. Whilst it works on that basis, though, the storyline costs about 35 hours to complete, with around 75 hours to complete the entire game. So maybe, just maybe, I'm over-exaggerating a little bit, and you still have quite a lot of time to complete a load of the side missions if you haven't done it throughout the storyline to be able to complete the main missions. But irrelevant, neither here nor there. It's a really weird place to place such a big, well-known spell. Next up, we have 100 Merlin Puzzles. Now, these Merlin Puzzles are all over the game, all over the map, and in so many different locations. But these puzzles are going to have different ways to complete them, and utilizing all of the spells across the story that you will have learned. So as your character learns new spells, you'll have new Merlin puzzles to be able to utilize those spells. So it is really, really interesting in how that's going to work, and you're kind of going to need to make sure that you are utilizing the main storyline in tangent with the locations that you're at. And 100 Merlin puzzles is a damn lot of Merlin puzzles to have to complete, so I'm really excited to get my hands on those. But this next topic is actually really shocking, and I don't really know how I feel about it, but I'm really interested to know what your guys' thoughts are down in the comment section below. So when we speak about it, please do let me know. But the game preview that we had back in September 2020, 90% of that stuff there has been cut or redone, which is absolutely mental considering that's the first thing we saw of absolutely anything, and it received about 31 million views on YouTube, I believe. But that first gameplay preview was just absolutely insane, and there was so many cool stuff in it. But the main thing that we're going to be noticing are maybe the graphical imagery changes, and what I mean by that is such as things like when we had the parry effect, when you pop the shield over you and had that sort of like purple bubble. When it exploded, to repercuss it, you'd have like a particle effect that would go over the screen. Apparently that is not there anymore, and that's just what I've seemed to have heard across the internet and other videos and other sources through Reddit. So what this does mean is that like particle changes and a lot of the stuff graphically is going to have changed, as well as locations. So this is something which is huge because the map has been absolutely huge, and we knew that it was going to be massive, but the large map was cut by nearly a quarter. which is a lot. That is a lot to cut out of a game, including the highlands and swamp areas are available, but are no longer playable areas. So what this does mean, though, is this does open up to quite a big future for Hogwarts Legacy. If this game launches well, and it actually is playable, and everything goes smoothly, and the quote-unquote alleged boycott that's been going on doesn't seem to work into fruition very smoothly, the game is successful and it still has quite a large player base, the likelihood is that the highlands, the swamp areas and all of this sort of stuff could end up being potential DLCs at a later date, and which is why they would have been cut. Which, now this is quite normal for games, and this is something which you will find will happen through a lot of the time, mainly because they build an entire game, and a lot of the DLCs that you do see straight off the offset with these open world games were already created at the beginning of the game's life expectancy. They just kind of have themselves pre-made these sections, pre-made some of the areas and some of the details in it, so that if the game does succeed, they've already had the work done so that they can release them DLCs within the first 6 months 9 times out of 10, or at least that's from the experience that I've got, and that's from the things that I've seen over the previous game titles that we've seen on the market. So that is absolutely huge, but it doesn't just stop with the map size on its own. The game folders were actually designed back in 2017, which when we look at it now is absolutely insane to know that that was around 6 years ago now, give or take 5 or 6 years, and that's absolutely mental to know that that's when the game folders were first designed. But in those game folders, it actually did involve Quidditch. Now, you guys know that my opinion on Quidditch is quite huge. Now, this actually included all 4 positions, but was then cut a year later. This included things like gobstones as well, the mini games that you guys would see. We also had in there the need for wizard's chess, and that was also cut from it. But these are just some really key factors that we have found are going to be taken out of the game from a year after the game's folders were designed. They were actually completely abandoned. They weren't even finished. Although the positions were available, they weren't even finished, but they were worked on and originally thought of for the game's main title. What this does tell me again is that future DLCs does lead this up quite a lot, and if they segment these DLCs properly based on the things that they don't have in the game anymore but may still have some in-game files for, this could mean that the DLCs could be running for at least 2 to 3 years, just based off of the information that we know for things that have been cut, removed, abandoned and all of that good stuff. Now that is a lot of time for them to be able to work on over those 2-3 years the next renditions of DLCs, or even the next big title for the Hogwarts Legacy franchise. And I know that's quite a long haul of being able to talk about that sort of thing, considering the game hasn't even released yet, but being able to look into the future for this sort of stuff is absolutely mad. And I do genuinely believe that this game could have a lifespan cycle that could last borderline a decade if it wanted to. That's just my opinion on it all, and that is a load more information that we had received today throughout an absolutely mental Hogwarts Legacy day. I'm going to leave the link to the Hogwarts Reddit down in the description. I would say it's worth having a dig through. There's so much information on there, so much stuff that you guys may not have known about, and we are going to be covering some more of it over the next 48 hours or so, so hopefully we can get as much information to you guys as we possibly can. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. If you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe, post notifications turned on. I appreciate all of your faces, and thank you so much for all the support on the channel this last week or two. Thanks again for watching, appreciate you all, and as always, I'll see you in the clouds.